It became so popular they decided to turn it into a weekly series. Well, when they decided to turn it into a weekly series, they went to the owner of the Box Ranch and said they'd like to continue filming out there, which is located about 15 miles north of here. And he said absolutely no more filming out there. They had ruined his ranching business long enough. And so Lorimar Productions, who produced Dallas, got in their helicopter, flew around Dallas-Fort Worth looking for another large white house with columns on a working ranch. Landed right here in our front yard at Duncan Acres, as it was called at the time. And Parker, Texas at that point was very undeveloped. And so they weren't used to visitors just driving up, much less helicopters landing in their front yard. So Mr. Duncan greeted them in true Texas fashion with a shotgun in hand and told them to get off the property. Well, they told him their intentions of wanting to film out here, and he said absolutely not. So they flew back to Dallas and ended up back in California eventually. They made 3 more offers to the Duncans. Obviously, they accepted the last and third offer. And each time they raised the price, we do not know what they paid, but we do know that it was reportedly the largest location fee up until 1978. Now, Mr. and Ms. Duncan put in 2 conditions for them filming out here. Number one, they could not film inside. Lorimar said, oh, that's not a problem, because we already have a soundstage in Culver City, California for the mini-series. And so that's why you're going to find the inside of our house different. They only did exterior filming here out in South Park. Second condition was they could only film here in the months of June, July, and August. And you see how nice and cool it is here right now. It's usually between 100 and 106 at least out here. And so it made for very, very hot weather to film in. Lorimar wasn't happy with that, but they said you can't take a bad shot of this house no matter what angle you're taking it from. So they agreed to that. They shot out here for the first 2 years without anything, much commotion or anything. And then in 1980, the world's most famous cliffhanger shot us from number 16 to number 1, Who Shot JR. Now, a former Miss America turned sportscaster, Phyllis George, was here in Dallas doing a home Dallas Cowboys football game, and she was invited out to the ranch, and she got to meet the Duncans and tour the ranch. And at halftime during that game, she announced on TV that she'd been out here, and that it was in Parker, Texas, at the corner of Parker Road and Murphy Road. And so the whole world knew our address then. And so the next morning, Mrs. Duncan woke up to all of Murphy Road out here being filled with cars. People were jumping the fence, leaving cards and letters and flowers for JR. Every time they would leave, they'd come home, people would be swimming in their swimming pool, because everybody wanted to swim where the Ewings were. So they basically had to live as a recluse in their own home from that point on, with all the doors and windows locked and the curtains closed. And so they lasted until 1984, and that is when Mr. Terry Triplett bought the property for $7 million. He opened up the house for tours. He built the visitor center over there where you came in and bought your ticket for events. And it proved not to be big enough, so that's when he built that big 63,000 square foot convention center. And he was making money hand over fist, but he was always looking for the next big deal. So he used the oil derrick and the ranch as collateral on a natural gas field he was drilling for. And all he hit was good old Texas dirt, and he had to claim bankruptcy in 1989. That's why the oil derrick is no longer over there. They boarded up the house, and we sat empty for 2 years, and that's when Mr. Rex Mom purchased the property for $2.6 million. He got quite the savings. Now, the first thing Mr. Mom did was he came through the house, and he spent $500,000 to have it redecorated and refurbished in the style that Ewing should be living in. And so the first thing they did was they converted this garage, which used to be off limits, into a banquet room. The first 2 rooms are kind of sparsely furnished just because we turn these rooms over 3 to 7 times a week. And so the less furniture we have in there, the more we can turn them over, the easier it is for us to turn them over. Now, the wall here is an artificial wall. You came through one of the famous garage doors, and thank goodness that they did not do away with the garage doors, because who would have ever thought 21 years after the last episode aired, there would be a brand new Dallas premiering on TNT. They just got through shooting the pilot. There will be a preview tonight on TNT. I'm not quite sure what time. They said it's during the closer, sometime So we're very excited about that. It is a continuation and not a remake. So they're really focusing on the younger generation. It has all the old cast members making guest appearances in it, which we're really excited about. And then John Ross Jr., Christopher, who is Bobby's son, and Elena, who is the cook's daughter. So they're going to have a little love triangle going on there. And so we're really looking forward to that. If y'all want to follow me, we're going to go through every single room.